This past weekend, I had the privilege of visiting Neil Taylor's toy collection and filming it all for you guys to enjoy. Neil has the most incredible collection of vintage Barbie, certainly within Australia, and a collection that dates all the way back to Barbie's origins in 1959 through to around 1975, as well as an amazing collection of vintage Mattel Big Jim. So let's go take a look at Neil's collection. Stay tuned.
Come with me, toy fans.
I'm here with my long-time friend Neil Taylor. It's been, what, 27 years, mate?
Probably 27, 28. Yeah.
I think so, yeah. It's been a while since I've seen you.
Since you're 20.
27 years then.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen your collection, and man,
Yeah.
it's gotten bigger. So, where do you want to start? Let's have a look at I've never seen this many boxed vintage Barbie dolls.
Some of these are full. Some the other boxes for the dolls in the cabinets, but I do have quite a lot of never removed from box that I just don't have room to display. It's a 1964 slipper doll, but there's Kens, Barbies, Midges, everyone pretty much still never removed from box. I still unfortunately don't have the room to display.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's not too bad, I've got to say. And I'm an absolute box sucker. See box stuff, I'm like, gotta have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some of my favourite things, believe it or not, one of my favourite things, this box, which is a shipping carton for the original Ken.
I love this kind of stuff.
Same
as well.
here, really hard to find. Like, I'd kill to get more of that sort of stuff. Just impossible to find though. And I do have a couple of other things that I really like. I'll dig them out in a while though. But I have been buying a lot, I've got to say, since the movie. Like, the amount of stuff that's surfaced, absolutely crazy. Especially in Australia, I'm surprised.
So you never stopped looking for Barbie.
Never.
It's just
Yeah.
the hype around the movie made people. You think it got people to
The amount
dig
that
into their
came
attics
out.
and pull stuff
Well,
out.
yeah, basically, I think a lot of people in there that had stuff in the 60s, you know, obviously are 60, 70 years old now, because kids played with dolls a lot longer back then. And the amount of stuff that surfaced in phenomenal condition, unbelievable. And they're going, well, my kids don't want it, it's sitting there, rather it go to a collector. So yeah, I bought up, and it's pretty much bankrupted me, but anyway, that's all good.
Hey,
Put it this way, I could have bought myself a really nice new car for it.
Yeah.
Really nice new car.
So what have we got here in this cabinet?
Okay, this stuff is pretty much 1960s. Well, this girl's from 66, which fits into the previous era, but because it's Colour Magic Barbie. Basically, the hair and the dress is a lichen test that's got the acid, whatever. So if the hair colour changes and the dress colours change with vinegar, water solution, and baking soda. Water changes it back.
All right, so we're going to give a demonstration of that, are we?
No. She's pristine mint. Hell no. And the hair's really fragile. It does snap easy. But all this stuff pretty much 1967 top shelf, 67, 68. Same as this one, 68, 69. Pretty much 1970.
You can see how the fashion changed.
Yeah. And 71, 72 on the second from the bottom. And bottom shelf is pretty much 71, 72 through to this end 75-ish basically.
Yeah.
But 75 is my cut-off point. But there is a few favourites, I've got to say. My Black Francie here, who incredibly rare, I got her this year. Oh, hang on. If I can... Yeah, incredibly rare doll. She's the first black doll Mattel came out in 1967. She was basically, Francie was Barbie's cousin, which they bought her out as a test market thing for the Carnaby Street look, because Barbie before that was really couture, like Paris high fashion. but she was starting to look a bit matronly by then. So they bought Francie out as a test market in 66, released Black Francie in 67, but people went nuts because it was like Barbie's cousin's black, and racism back then, you know, not so cool. Not a hugely popular doll at the time, and a lot of people were really upset about it, but incredibly rare loose, let alone never removed from box. Very rare, but also very expensive. She wasn't cheap, I've got to say. Yeah, definitely not.
For those
cheap.
people who've watched my channel for a long time, I never really focus on price of
Neither
vintage
do I.
toys.
Yeah.
I always
That's
get people
my
in the
desire
comments.
for them. You know, that's
100%. I wish these things I could find for $5 a pop, so I could have more of them.
So do I. Put it this way: the lady I bought that off bought it for a substantial. I paid 2.5 times what she paid for it, and she paid it wasn't cheap.
Yeah.
But it was nowhere near what I paid for it. So, and she had it for 3 weeks before I bought it off her. So anyway, but I wanted it. I went, you know what? And the other favourite in here, what's a new favourite? I guess this. Oh, Skipper, who is Barbie's little sister. But this packaging was a transition thing. Whoop, hang on. I'm going to have it. I've got to be careful of this because I always do this. Move one thing and everything topples. Yeah, this packaging, basically this is the original packaging for the 1965-66 band leg dolls.
So what, the original is the one on the right?
Yeah, this one. Basically had the older outfits from 65-66. 1967, they repackaged the dolls when they were doing mod.
Yep.
Also, the skin tone changed from like the grey vinyl to a pinker vinyl. But they did the open face box, which they did with the mod dolls, whereas the old dolls were in shoebox style things. But she has the same graphics on the back.
Oh yeah.
But she has mod outfits instead of the. You can see the difference in the fashions, basically. But yeah, this incredibly rare to find boxed. So she was another one of my favourites.
Produced what, in lower numbers? Or?
I only produced in 1967, and really hard to find. Because supposedly in 67 they then brought out 68 I should say, Twist and Turn Skipper. Had the twist waist and eyelashes, which is this one. So the band legs, you can find them, hard to find the pink tone band legs in nice shape, but boxed, virtually impossible. So I was extremely happy to get her. Let's put her back. Yeah. Just trying to think who else. A couple of silly things. A friend went to a convention in the States recently, and I hate putting stuff out unless it's mint complete. This outfit, believe it or not, missing that stole, which ridiculous, but she got that for me in America. I was really happy, but the damn thing doesn't fit around the shoulders. It falls off and looks stupid on, so she hangs on to it. But it's complete now. So
we've all got to figure out different ways to display these things, and
well, that's it, you know.
Is that a shop display sign down there?
This is actually from the 30th anniversary.
Oh yeah.
They did postcards. I think it was 89. Yeah, 1989. They had released a series of postcards and stuff. It is a store display thing from 89.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit rough, but it's not too bad. Foam, so it survived all right. I was going to be very careful of it. All right, this cabinet's basically 1964 through to 66, late 66. They're all in original swimsuits, which is what they were sold in. And these on, well, top shelf also. Hang on. The only thing I've ever taken out the box was the football uniform, because I wanted it so bad and I couldn't find it in good shape years ago.
Yep.
Bought it in Melbourne. Unboxed it. Only time I've ever unboxed anything, ever.
Did the community hate you for doing that?
A lot of people do it, and I hate people doing it. because there's only a limited amount of this stuff. So
Yeah, it's like I get it. You
Yeah.
know, if the
Yeah.
packaging's really badly damaged,
oh, I get it. You know, if it's
get it out.
trashed, it's
But,
like
you know,
But
don't rip it out of a mint
That was
package.
mint, you know. But
Yeah.
I had it twice, and I went, you know what? I've wanted it for years, so I did pull it out. And this stuff's 1965. They call it American Girl because they're bob tear style. Barbie, hang on, where are we? Yeah, these basically. She's a pink skin American Girl, which is a Japanese exclusive. Super rare, and American Girls are quite valuable, but pink skin, very rare. Only one I've got. I've got a body.
Only one you've got.
Yeah. I do have a spare body, but I don't have the head for it. But it will show up one day. And yeah, basically this era, they call it the Couture period. So it was more really high fashion ball gowns, you know, Paris runway stuff. A lot of this stuff was copied off of actual runway stuff.
Yep.
And beautifully made, same as these suits. Jacqueline Kennedy kind of era, 65, 66. Or Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. Pan Am here, one of the rarer outfits of Barbie. 2 colour variations. There's another one I need to get, which is like a really deep blue. And the kimono is a Japanese exclusive as well.
Wow.
That was only released in Japan. It's actually my sister's childhood doll.
Is it really?
Yep. Yeah.
But not this childhood outfit.
No, I got the outfit later. And these are again 66, 67. But that's the quality of the clothes is the main thing for me. And I'm fussy. I like everything to be mint.
So why Barbie? Why do you collect Barbie?
I had one as a kid. Not acceptable back in the day. I can remember my mum, when I was a kid, going into a toy store. I think I was about 4 or 5, and there's a toy store in Plaza Arcade in the city. And I wasn't talking Barbie, but she was $8 or $9, which back then was a lot of money, because I'm old. It was the 60s. Early, well, 1969, 70.
Yeah.
And basically, Mum couldn't afford it, but the woman in the toy store went, "Can't buy him a doll, it's a boy." Mum was like, "Mind your own damn business, I'll buy him what he wants." And I ended up getting Cindy and Patch. Meh. Not to worry. But Mum was cool, you know,
Yeah.
so, and I kind of kept them. Dad wasn't happy about it. He used to drive trucks over east, Nullarbor before it was sealed and whatever.
Yep.
Definitely a man's man. Came back, not happy seeing a Barbie sitting on the table at dinner. But basically, I think I hit about 7 and he went, "No more Barbies." So I went into Ken and then G.I. Joe
Yep.
and Big Jim after that.
Which, yeah, we have a...
Yeah, and that's actually my childhood G.I. Joe here, in his original uniform, which Mum stashed when we moved when I was little.
Wow. Next to a desert right there.
Yes,
Who's that fella?
you. I need your spare hands.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You've stored his hands for me.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I've got plenty of those. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, and this is another pickup which I got amazingly enough in Perth for an extremely good price. It's Barbie's 1961 Austin Healey, never removed from box.
Wow. It's insane that stuff like this is still out there.
Crazy. And the lady I bought it from actually offered to drop it around. She came up and looked at my collection with her husband, who's a big Thunderbirds fan, and I love Thunderbirds as well. I ended up giving him my Thunderbirds book actually, because they had a reference book. But she was so impressed. She had, I think, $250 on this. She went, $100, it's yours. And I went, no, I can't do it. And she went, no, I want you to have it. Awesome, such a nice lady. And she ended up, found an outfit that goes with this particular car. One of the early outfits I never had, pristine mint. Place suits me. Lovely, really nice person. And that doesn't happen very often, I've got to say.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. But my other thing, boxed outfits. I love boxed stuff.
So you'd call yourself a mint in box, or never removed from box
Never
collector?
removed from box. Like this is one of my rarer outfits.
So what year is this?
1965.
Wow.
Yep. Saturday matinee. Yes. Always desirable loose, but mint in box. Extremely hard to find. And I love box. And I'm a big Ken fan, I've got to say. And I do have some quite rare, just going to find, hang on. Where are we? Oh, it must be in this one, sorry. Ah, that. It's Ken's rarest outfit. Business appointment from 1966.
Yep.
Super rare, loose, never removed from box. Crazy rare. And I picked that up in Australia. I paid for it though, I've got to say. But yeah, the amount of stuff that's shown up since the movie, just phenomenal. Absolutely crazy. And I kind of like all random sort of things. Rock Flowers was another Mattel set of dolls that they brought out. Actually, I'll just show you these quick. Live action Barbie and Ken, which that was my Ken as a kid and my sister's Barbie.
Yep.
And there's Christy and PJ. Christy's super hard to find, wasn't released yet. They bought them out in 1971, I should say. And basically the next year they brought out Rock Flowers with kind of mini versions, but they're stands. Where are we? Hang on, I'll place this somewhere. These slotted on, this is actually a record. And you put that in the middle, put the doll on it, and they dance to their songs.
Now you can get your own rock scene together with the groovy new Rock Flowers from Mattel. 3 out-of-sight fashion dolls dressed in wild rock costumes with a real record and a posing stand for each one.
And they're kind of these weird hippie chicks, like there's, you know, black chick with the afro. Yeah, this bizarre, but they're kind of cool. I like this sort of stuff.
Collectible?
Know? Yeah, like a lot of people collect Rock Flowers, but another pickup in Perth, reasonably cheap.
Yep.
Yeah, there's my money does tend to go to Barbie and Big Jim, G.I. Joe, whatever.
Yeah, we'll get onto the Big Jim in a minute.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, if I come across random stuff that I'm kind of think's cool or whatever, I do grab it. But there's times I do a cull again because this gets into how much I've got. And there's all these boxes are full. These boxes are full. There's crates under my bed. I'm like...
How long have you been collecting for?
45 years, I guess.
So when did you... Was there a certain thing that happened for you where you decided, right, I'm going to become a collector? Or
Like serious collector?
Yeah,
like
what sparked it?
When I moved out of home, basically, like I'd kept our childhood Barbies and whatever. Mind you, I'd sold a lot off, and a lot of my toys by records, believe it or not, and shitty records. Sorry, I know I can't say shit on YouTube.
Yeah, no,
anyway.
you can. You can
Oh,
say whatever you want on my
Well, I
channel.
said, bought shitty records.
Yeah.
Anyway, regret that. Because all my G.I. Joe stuff, I had tons in Action Man, and I was fastidious with my stuff.
Yeah.
The uniforms weren't screwed up. They were laid in a box. All the accessories, like the medals, everything, put into little containers, spotless, everything. Same as my Ken stuff, everything. Sold most of it to buy records and crap records. But when I moved out of home, I moved out really young, and I used to shop a lot. And whenever I saw vintage Barbies, I just thought she had such a bitch face. I loved her. She kind of looked like an attitudey bitch. I went, she's cool, you know. Not these guys so much. Like these are pretty, but these guys with the, you know, molded eyelashes and stuff, they've got an attitude, you know.
Yeah.
So I'd just pick them up at op shops, and I had a big suitcase full. And a friend of mine one year, like I picked up one Ben Leg doll in the box at supermarkets. I paid $16, and all my friends were like, "You're mad! What a waste of money." At the time, I didn't realise it was worth like nearly $1,000 US. You know, it's quite a rare doll. And I had it sitting on the kitchen cupboard next to the stove, gathering grease. God knows what. Anyway, but yeah, basically a friend of mine gave me a book, and I pulled my, like as a joke for Christmas, pulled my suitcase out and started going through, and I went, oh, I've got quite a bit of this stuff, and I started putting it together, and I just went, instead of doing the things I used to do when I nightclubbed, stop spending money on that, spend it on this.
Yep.
But I still do club for years and did all that stuff for years.
So this book, what was it, like a Barbie collector's guide?
Basically, it was kind of a crappy one, but it was one of the early guides, but it was more, not so much of a serious collector guide. Well, it's not considered these days.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was one of the earliest books that was out.
I
So.
remember the very first Action Man one that was
Yeah.
brought out by Francis Baird. That book is horrendous.
Oh, I know.
But at the time, everyone bought it because it was the only book going.
I think I've got a copy somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's like there's a few, there's a Cindy book, which I've got one Cindy, couple of patches, like box Cindy. The horse is mine from when I was a kid.
Yep.
Box patches, couple of box pools. But Cindy, like there's a book on her and a few boxed outfits. The book that's out on her sells for stupid money, and it's a terrible book.
Yeah.
The dolls are all really crappy condition. Ink stains, cut hair, chewed off fingers, clothes are incomplete. Terrible book, but people pay a fortune for it. That's a Japanese Jeff doll, which was Takara Barbie.
Mm-hmm. From what era?
1986.
Yeah.
But that's the Japanese.
He's got like an anime look to his face.
Yeah, well, the same as the Barbie had a really anime look.
Yeah.
And these guys are Tressie. That's a Spanish one, and that's the American Tressie, which is the grow hair doll.
Yep.
Bought out to compete with Barbie in 64 or 65.
By Palatoy.
Palatoy was the English one. I had one, but I sold her. She always goes waxy and pasty looking.
Yeah.
She's pretty ugly, actually.
So who are these American Tressie dolls?
That one, yeah, well, Palatoy licensed Tressie from American Character. And this is the original one.
Yeah, gotcha.
And then this is the Spanish version, who's actually prettier than the American one.
Oh, Spanish,
Yeah. Well, that's it. Nice makeup.
Yeah.
And I kind of have some random stuff like this. He's butt ugly doll, but I love the box. And I love this, like the whole clone thing. As I said, butt ugly, cheap Barbie clone. Sold at Woolworths in the 60s. I think she was 75 cents.
They're like blow molded.
Yeah, it's cheap as
Yeah.
chips. Like, it's rubbish doll, basically. But the box is cool.
Yeah.
And I think
It is.
Yeah, I picked this up off eBay last week for like $40. I think, $40, whatever. But and Tressie, not Tressie, sorry, Tammy and Pepper, which is basically, Cindy collectors will hate me. She was Ideal, came out in 1962, a lot more wholesome looking than Barbie. Big head, big hands, no tits and ugly clothes. That's what I always say. Clothes aren't bad though, but Cindy was copied off her. So Pedigree got the license for Tammy. And you can see the resemblance. They're very much the same doll. Like the hands, everything about them, same sort of mould. Like Cindy's got a different vinyl, obviously, and complexion. But very much the same. Oh, Rock Flowers, hang on. Here's a never removed from box one. They were kind of cool.
Oh,
it's very psychedelic, trippy.
Of its time.
Yeah, 1971-ish. And the whole record thing, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you've got another cabinet here with
Big Jim, who I love. Mum used to say to me, should never have bought you that Barbie. And I went, Ma, it wasn't Barbie, it was Big Jim. That's my Big Jim from when I was a kid.
The soccer player?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is my Big Jim from when I was a kid in the soccer uniform. And I can remember having a tantrum until Mum got me that uniform. She wasn't happy.
Yep.
But this top row basically is first issue, like the first 12 outfits for him, which it was the All-Star because he was sports orientated. So he was 1971. A lot of people say 72, but he did come out in 71. Mm-hmm. And Big Jack, who's the black dude, came out in 72. Hang on a sec. What's going on here? I swung the wrong door. Big Jack came out in 72.
Very nice.
Yeah.
These are in great condition.
Yeah, a couple of the arms tend to fade on these guys.
Yeah.
But I picked this guy up off eBay recently. Wrist tag's still attached to everything. And Big Josh as well with the wrist tag. Dirt cheap.
And that was a little like selling feature that was copied across from Barbie.
Yeah, it was this
She
to
made
show
by the same company, Mattel.
Yeah, Mattel. Yeah, this showed the genuine thing. Yeah, I got the Big Josh, and the Big Josh came out 73, and Big Jeff 74, which Big Jeff, the blonde guy, was meant to be the Australian friend, yeah.
Now there's that infamous Big Jim advert.
Big Jim's on safari when suddenly he sees Big Josh coming at him through the trees. And Big Jim says, let's see if he's stronger than me. Big Josh cracks this tree stump with his axe. Big Jim splits this board with karate whacks. And they realize when the contest ends, the two strong guys are going to be strong friends. Big Jim, Big Josh camp and tent and safari outfit all sold separately from Mattel.
That's
Two big men.
That's him and Big Josh in that advert,
in
isn't
the
it?
Big Jim camper ad, yeah.
Yeah,
the camper ad.
Yeah.
Brokeback Mountain camper ad, yeah. But yeah, no, I really like Big Jim. They were kind of pretty cool quality. And the Australian Olympic stuff, really desirable.
So I really did want to kind of hone in on this a little bit because I knew you had these. I didn't realise you had all three of the different outfits.
Yeah.
So this was an exclusive made by Mattel in 1976?
75.
75.
Yeah.
For the Olympics that were in 76. Yeah.
And they did the American version.
Yep.
And the Australian version. American, they had quite a few different outfits. I think I'm missing basketball. Mm-hmm. But Australia only had the three, which was track, warm-up, and the boxing. But they're really hard to find, and the box figure, really hard to find.
So only ever sold in Australia by Mattel Australia.
Yeah. And they're extremely sought after by international collectors. Like, extremely sought after.
The figure, is his pants actually...
Yeah, I think...
the plastic moulded...
His jocks, I think.
Jocks?
Yeah, don't want to screw with these too much because the elastic is rough on... Like the elastic's brittle on the shorts, so I don't want to mess with it too much.
So the actual... It's not just a case of the outfit, you need the actual figure as well.
Yeah, because the... underwear, Speedos, whatever they're meant to be, had the Australian flag on as well. Yeah, but I picked up this jungle truck, I think last year, and that's in really nice shape. All the stickers are really good and stuff.
It is. It hasn't even got scuff marks on it. Like a kid didn't smash that into the wall very often.
Unlike my sports camper I got as a kid.
Yeah, right.
Took it to my friend's place up in the hills, and he had a pool that went off a cliff, and there was a brook that was down below it, which actually, funnily enough, runs through my parents' property now, the creek at the back. My sports camper went over the edge of the pool, down the hill, into the drain. It was winter, and I'd had it for like 3 days, and Mum wasn't happy about spending $25 or whatever it was at the time on it anyway. She thought it was crap for the money.
Yep.
And it floated down the drain. His mum had to drive us to the next stormwater drain, and there was a mesh grill over it, and I got this soggy piece of crap back. Needless to say, my parents were not happy. And I wasn't happy either, but...
So you've got...
I've got the boat and buggy set. I've only got the buggy out. The boat and the...
2 campers there?
Yeah, and I've got another 3 loose ones down in my storeroom. Well, quite often Big Jim stuff in Australia on eBay shows up. You get the camper with some figures and outfits.
Yeah.
And
So
I'm
you buy the
you
lot
know
for the bits you need,
yeah.
and you end up with all these
and
campers,
I've got 5 campers or something. I've sold 2 already, but they're quite hard to sell because the postage.
Yep.
But quite often I just go, you know what, let's buy the damn thing, so I want the bits, and it kind of works out cheaper to buy it with a whole pile of stuff than...
This guy in the white, he's...
karate.
Karate?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got the boards that he breaks in half, yeah.
So he's got the karate chop action. Yeah, he's got a button in his back, so yeah. Big Jim special feature. Which always had it as a kid. And his arm, of course. Hang on, yeah, his biceps.
Yeah.
Flex. Yeah, it's funny because my mum came in here a few months ago. My mum's in her 80s now, but she walked in and she looked at Big Jim and she kind of laughed and she went, "Yeah, it wasn't Barbie, was it?" And I went, "No, Mum."
So you're not a completist with Big Jim. I know there's a lot of later stuff where it gets...
All my uniforms are complete. Actually, Yeah, it's all complete.
No, when I say complete, it's like you're not pursuing the entire line.
No, because it comes down to like this era. Like I like the sports and the adventure stuff. Oh, hang on, I've done that the wrong way. But these guys, like, actually I've gotten rid of the Wolfpack guys. There's Wolfpack came out, which was I think 76.
Yeah.
And I've got him because he's mint complete, and it's kind of the last of the classic Big Jim head sculpt.
Yeah.
But they did a double trouble feature, which is this weird plastic head, and you pressed his back and his head spun around and he had an angry face.
You can turn Big Jim double trouble and lead Torpedo Fist on a dangerous pack mission against their archenemy, Zorak.
But he had this big, long, clumpy, weird Lego hair thing that was his face set in. Hated it. I thought, oh, tacky. Well, it was just stupid. This didn't do it for me at all. And Dr. Seal, who's Big Jim's nemesis, supposedly. Yeah. But he was in the earlier line, so I hung on to him.
He's got a haircut.
No grows though. But yeah, basically, I did have some Wolfpack stuff, which I've actually got to put on eBay. In all honesty, I've got it put aside. I do have it in here, but I'm not going down that path. And like the pirate stuff, the Western stuff, the space stuff, doesn't interest me. Like he had his initial Western uniform, I think, or Western outfit in 73, 74, which I had as a kid, so of course I got that. But after pretty much 1975, I'm drop out of Big Jim. You know, if anything, these days I try and buy boxed or carded, because I've got pretty much everything I want.
So obviously there's one other cabinet that's not in this room I want to take a look at.
Yep, that's the...
But just before we do that, there's one other piece in here which I was
Green
like,
Ghost.
oh wow.
It's awesome.
Is that the complete game there?
Yep. Yeah, we had that as kids, and someone I know, who I used to be friends with, gave that to me a couple of years ago, and I was so ecstatic. I was really excited by it.
It's such a beautiful box.
Awesome. It's just the box. The artwork's phenomenal. And it was a cool game. We played that as kids. And it really glowed in the dark. It was cool. Okay, this is the good stuff. This is this cabinet, well, a lot of that wouldn't go anywhere, but nothing goes anywhere. This is basically my earliest stuff. So this is Bill Lilly that Barbie was copied off, who was a German cartoon character. 1956, and Barbie was actually copied off her. She's strung though, she's got just hard plastic, but she's got elastic joints. She's not actually vinyl and popped together.
And what year is this?
1956. Yeah. Yeah. Hang on, let's put it back, so I'm paranoid about her. Yeah. Love her. Picked her up in Perth, amazingly enough. And
wow.
Yeah, years ago, and she was a bargain. She was one of my best buys ever. And my number one Barbie, whose box is at the back there, she's in a 1959 outfit called Easter Parade, which is also extremely rare. The brunette is a number two, which is 1959 as well. These are all 1959 outfits besides this one.
Yep.
But yeah, that's number two, and another number two, which all the number ones and twos have black and white irises. Number ones had holes in the feet. There's a prong in a stand that went into the holes in the feet. And these are all number threes. The rest on the top shelf here. She is one of my favourites. I only got her about 18 months ago, but this doll is superb. She's in such beautiful condition. Sorry, I'm shaking. Yeah, absolutely beautiful condition. And she was a trade, believe it or not, for some random stuff I had that someone wanted. Wasn't interested in that doll at all, got given it and went, Yeah, so these are all number threes on the top, and the first issue from 1961.
So for those who don't know, just explain number one, number two, number three.
Number one was the very first issue Barbie that came out in 1959, March. Late in 1959, they got rid of the holes in the feet. so released number 2, which is basically exactly the same doll, but number 1 had holes in the feet with a copper tube, and the stand had prongs on it, which the doll stood on. Yeah. The drilling for those holes in the feet was extremely hard and laborious and whatever, so they got rid of that and made these stands. Yeah, like the number 1 stand, as you can see, there's no back on it. There's actually prongs at the bottom that fit up into a feet.
Yep.
Second issue, solid legs, but they made the stand with the wire back that's hooked onto the arms.
Yep. So they didn't have to drill the holes in the feet.
Yeah, and it was this basically the same face. Very early number 1s though, hand painted. And you do get the odd number 2, but it's only the very early issue dolls that had the hand painted face. Whereas number 3s, they kind of softened her up a bit, made her, like the first 2 issues had arched eyebrows. Number 3, they curved her eyebrows, gave her blue irises, and either blue or brown eyeliner. And the blue's rarer, believe it or not, but I actually prefer the dolls with brown eyeliner because number 3 is the only one that had it, and I just like it for some reason, even though the blue is rarer. And these guys are number 4s on this shelf, which is number 3 was early 1960, number 4 was later 1960. First 3 issues, by the way, all fade to white, like the vinyl fades. Number 4 is the first one that retains its final colouring, so still keeps its peachy tone.
Yeah, you can see that,
Yeah.
So like these are like ghostly white.
Yeah, and I kind of like the vampire. That's the thing. I love that really bitch face vampire. And the harsher, beautiful. I love it. The harsher, the better. I think they're awesome. The really harsh dolls. A lot of people hate them. I love them. Like the harsher, the better.
Yeah.
My goal is to have a hand painted number 1. There's some they did. They call them snake eyes, and the eyes and the eyebrows are really intense, and they look pure evil.
Yeah.
That's my grail doll one day, you know, but also extremely expensive, you know, and rare. I will have one though, one day.
So have you got some favourites in here?
Yeah, I must say, well, number 1s and 2s, obviously. This number 3, as the one that I pointed out in the cream coat, I love that doll. I think she's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, like these 3 and her, I absolutely adore, obviously. Let's try to pick, where are we? My mum and dad. My dad, as I said, wasn't really cool with me collecting Barbie, but I did an exhibition for her 20th anniversary in at Myers. And at the time I worked for them in the city that had an antique doll and toy shop. And Mum and Dad for Christmas one year tracked down through Annette a vintage Barbie case that a woman had bought from America that had a number 5 ponytail and a bubble cut and a pile of outfits. And this doll is the doll, and it was the first doll that my mum and dad gave me. And that's her in one of the outfits. She means the world to me because my dad actually gave that to me, and for my dad it was a big deal, you know?
Yeah.
And I've kept all that stuff. I've still got every single piece of it. And never get rid of it that easy. And this is the outfit I said with the car the lady sent to me. That's the outfit. Pristine condition, and it was one of the earliest outfits, one of the only ones I didn't have. So, beautiful. Yeah. And this outfit and doll is the other doll that came in the case that Mum and Dad got me. But yeah, I think favourites, I really like this one because my cousin, when I was a kid, had this, well, pretty much exactly the same doll in the nurse's outfit. And I started playing with them when I was about 2. I think I don't know why, was besotted with Barbie for some reason. I think it was the miniature stuff and whatever, even though I probably lost half of her accessories, but anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like that one because it reminds me of my cousin who passed away from cancer, and it's the same doll that she had. So these ones are bubble cuts, which they brought out in 1961, and these are early bubbles.
So you're talking about the hairstyle?
Yeah. And it's the most common hairstyle for Barbie in the early 60s. But yeah, these are all early bubbles. Well, that one's a bit later, but these are early with the greasier faces. and smaller bubbles.
So these were the most common hairstyles in the early 60s.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
that's not what comes to your mind's eye when you first think of Barbie.
Well,
You think of blonde
1959
and
to
the
61,
ponytail.
yeah, 59 to 61 they all had the ponytail,
Yeah.
and in 61 they brought out the bubble cut, and the bubble cut was really popular because it was indestructible, I guess. And it was more the fashion look because of Jackie Kennedy and whatever. Like people were getting rid of that 50s ponytail look. And Ken's, I love early Ken. He's one of my favourites, I've got to say.
Yeah.
Like the first issue, Ken had flocked hair. Yeah, he's got his plastic bag on his head still, and friends are like, why don't you take that off? And I'm like, because it's been there since 1961, I'm not touching it.
Yeah.
And this one, Redhead Ken, is a Montgomery Ward's exclusives, which was a department store in America at the time.
Yeah.
He's quite a rare doll and perfect, so he's a keeper, obviously. Well, all this
So
stuff's keeper.
they were doing flocked hair before Action Man and G.I. Joe.
Literally, yeah. So they stopped
I don't think it
doing-
was done the same way with the
yeah.
electrostatic
No,
flocking.
it wasn't.
But yeah.
See, with Ken, they first issue had the flocked hair, but they found when it got wet, it'd wash off or it would rub off quite easily. Like one of my guys, this one here's got a chip on the side of his hair, which I'm upset about because he fell over and scraped his hair on the side of the cabinet.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. I'll replace him one day, but I'm like, nah, one day. And yeah, then these go down to pretty much 1962, 63, ponytails and bubble cuts.
So why have you got a couple of outfits in the bottom here? Just somewhere to put them, or?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And that shelf's too short to put it in,
Yeah.
so I went, put some stuff in
But
there.
it fits with the same era.
Yeah, these dolls are a little bit later, like it's the 1965 side part bubble cut, European and Australian release, never removed from box. Oh, so that's the original, the lid for the box, so that's got them in these protective things. But platinum side part bubble, never touched. And European release, the American release dolls and most of the Australian ones had the red swimsuit on.
Yep.
Europe and some Australian dolls, we got a lot of the European exclusives they call them, but we got a lot of them, had the gold and white swimsuit, which actually came with this doll at the end here, hang on, who is called Fashion Queen Barbie from 1963. She had moulded hair and wigs, because wigs were a big thing back in the early 60s. Selling for more than gold, believe it or not, at the time. The European dolls, and this is a swirl ponytail, these came out in 1964, and she's never removed from box, European version as well.
Beautiful.
Yep, absolutely pristine. Not easy to find dolls like this, I've got to say. But yeah, I think for me it's the accessories and miniature stuff. Besides the fact clothes are beautifully made, you know, and history of fashion. I've always loved fashion, so, well, used to. These days I don't care so much. I think used to be a bit of a fashionista back in the day, and now I'm just like, whatever.
Yep.
Don't mind spending $300 on a Barbie outfit. Me, I'm like, hell no. Days of Westwood t-shirts and Westwood stuff are gone.
Yep. So if anyone out there's got some vintage Barbies and they, want to get rid of them, they can reach out to the
Definitely
channel. I
happy,
can put you in touch with Neil, especially if you're in Australia.
Yep. Anyone that thrifts in America and finds anything, because I know there's some bargains to be had there. Yep, I've had friends, a friend of mine went to Savers about 3 weeks ago, American collector, $2.99, mint brunette #1 Barbie.
Wow.
He got out to the car and he was shaking. He was like, holy shit, literally shaking.
Yep.
Pristine #1 Barbie, $3.
Damn.
Yeah.
That'll happen to you one day.
Yeah, I hope so. But you know what, there's been about 3 or 4 friends of mine this has happened to in the last 2 or 3 years in America.
Yeah, right.
Because Slavers and whatever, they're just like, or Goodwill, I think it is over there. I don't know whether they've got Savers, they've got Goodwill way. Just old doll, they don't care, you know, it's, stuff, you know. Yeah.
Well, thanks for showing us your collection,
Pleasure,
Neil.
thank you.
Let's go have a beer, right?
Yeah, time. Vodka.
So thank you all for watching, and if anyone does have some vintage Barbie for sale, certainly if you're in Australia, flick me an email at torturedgeniusfilms@gmail.com and I'll find a way to put you in touch with my friend Neil. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.